expect runway 25 left.
EGLL Navy, so car departure with a contact runway
339, thank you. Clear visual approach, runway 24 right, I appreciate your help.
Heading 150, Spirit 404 runway.
Clear visual approach, runway 31 left, maintain visual separation, contact tower 123.9 or Endeavour 3748.
4444, turn 10 degrees right, reduce speed 180.
Hi pilots and co-pilots, Brian here. We're at a bit of a wet and miserable Heathrow today. I've got the Baron 58 here, slightly modified version that I downloaded off xplane.org, and I'm hooked on FSEconomy at the moment, doing small GA flights everywhere, so I thought I'd jump over the pond and be in the UK today and do some flying around the UK, but the weather's not really cooperating that well, so I shall be doing a flight from Heathrow up to Manchester, and hopefully things will go really well. So I'm going to switch over to show you the FSEconomy. As I said, I'm flying a lot of FSEconomy flights at the moment. A lot of that's been around northwest Canada and down through into the States and back, but I figured I'd had enough mountain flying and I wanted to do some UK flying. So I'm at EGLL Heathrow. We're going to go on to EGCC. We've got 5 paying passengers today, and I've rented the Baron 58. We're paying $300 an hour for that, and I fueled it slightly. I figured a route out using SkyVector, and this is what it's going to be putting us at today. We're going to be heading north and then across into Manchester. So hopefully that's going to work. I've got the flight plan here. Didn't have for a Baron 58, but I used for a Twin Otter, which is fairly similar. I got myself some details for a flight, so we're going to use this. I'm going to program up the GPS in a second. So let's get inside the plane, and I'm going to get rid of the yoke. Let's crank the fuel up here. Right, and turn my battery on, alternators on, my beacon and strobe on so we know we're an active plane. I don't know if the fuel boost pumps do anything in this model, but I should put them on anyhow. Right, let's have a look. What we do now. Now I'm actually going to get the engines running while I program this up. Put our fuel up. I'll adjust my throttle slightly. Whoa. They were quite aggressive there. They're on. Oh, the avionics was already on. That was bad. I don't like the fact that's always on by default. You shouldn't. Turn the panel on now, and we'll bring that up here. Make it slightly bigger so everybody can see. Yeah, CYPK. So it's over the other side of the world. Let's clear that out. EGLL. Okay. Nope. Let's have a quick look here. So we're going to buzzer 3K buzzard. So that's the SID, I guess. But let's just put it in here. Oops. Clicking on slightly the wrong spot there. I did wonder if I should have done this programming in before we got going today. Nobody likes to sit and watch somebody doing this, but I'll be as quick as I can here. Buzzer, okay. For the longest time I avoided programming up Oh, does it fit in there? There's a 3K, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe I won't do it this way. You only have 5. Maybe I won't do that. I'll just do Buzzad. Okay. I avoided using the GPSs because it seemed just like it was unintelligible how you programmed it, but I persevered and eventually it seemed okay. Yeah, I'll accept that. And we're going to TNT. Let's just do that for now. That'll get us most of the way north. And then I'll select an approach when we get nearer. T. And is it real world weather? Pretty much real world weather. Hold on, you know what? Nobody can see the questions here, so just you should be able to see real world questions now. Yeah, it is real world weather, sort of. I did slightly tweak the amount of rain that was coming down because I hope and raise the cloud level by a couple of thousand feet because I do want to be able to see the ground somewhat, because as you can tell by my accent, I did originally come from the UK and I'm missing the green fields of home, I guess, so I want to be able to see some of the scenery as I'm flying by. Accept. That'll do for now. Okay, so we're heading north. Let's just have a look on the map. Yep. Oh, I see. So there's Trent. Okay. So we'll probably, when we get to Trent, I'll select an approach to come in for Manchester and see how we do. Okay. So we're taking off on 9 left, apparently. Ugh, such a big airport. Let's shrink this down a bit. Okay. So we're going to taxi out there, all the way down there, and take off. I would actually like to take off halfway along, but maybe we should follow the rules. Okay. I'm going to put my nav lights on, taxi on. It's pretty grey looking, isn't it? It's late afternoon. My settings here. I'm going to take brakes off. Oh, actually, I know what I got to do. Brakes back on. Just cheat. I don't have UK charts. I don't know what people do for a lot of UK charts. 128.7. Okay. Right, 12. Almost there. 128.7. Let's just dial that in. Am I going to hear anything? Is that correct? Hold on. 128.07. Oh, I'm screwing up. That was why it was silent. Okay, let's try again.
London Heathrow information Delta. 1500 Zulu weather. Wind 120 at 8, visibility 8, rain. Sky conditions 7,900 broken, 17,500 scattered.
Yeah, you see I've adjusted the weather slightly.
Dew point -7. Altimeter 2942.
Wow, that's low.
Arriving runway 09 right, departing runway 09 left. Advise on initial contact you have Delta.
Wow, that's very low barometer, isn't it? Let's turn that off before it talks to me again. I'm not doing any air traffic control. So we're on our way. Oh, in Edinburgh it's IFR and sleet. Wow. I know the UK's been really hit with weather. That's what my social media feeds tell me anyway, all my friends and family posting photos of that. A lot of snow. Very unusual. You know what, I'm going to leave this map up for a minute because I'm just trying to no, I'm not, because I can't see out. Go over there. That looks like that will lead me out onto one of the taxiways. This is a slightly modded Baron 58 from the default one. It's in the explain.org. If you search Baron 58 and explain, it'll come up. It's free. It's just a modification of the existing one that comes with explain, but they've tweaked the flight model somewhat, and it actually is not that I've ever flown a real one, but I can actually get it to cruise really nicely. I can get my descent. It just flies really well, and apparently they say that it's far more accurate to the real world model than the one that comes as standard with explain. Although that's a pretty good model when you think what comes included these days. This is the default explain 11 Heathrow scenery. It's kind of a pity it's not beautiful blue sky, but as I said, I have adjusted the weather slightly today. Removed a bit of the cloud, left the wind up there, left the everything else the same, barometric pressure, etc. Everything else is the same. Right, where are we? We'll just go all the way down to the end. It's always the boring part, the taxiing. I haven't got brakes left on it. That must just be the water effect on the runway. Now you get to witness my amazing lack of rudder skills as we're working our way down to the end. And of course the airport looks disturbingly empty. It's like a post-apocalyptic airport where all the planes have gone. I am looking at getting one of the traffic simulations. I think I was going to go for World Traffic version 3, but it sounds like there's a bit of work involved in setting that up. I'm not brave enough yet to undertake that, but I know I'll need to, as it's always been my big miss is the lack of realistic other AI aircraft in X-Plane, because the default methodology just sucks. I really used to like the Microsoft Flight Sim, where I had all my real-world routes and liveries, and you could actually follow the planes flying their standard routes that they would set up and do every day. So that really was pretty damn cool. It's a huge gaping hole in X-Plane for me. So fingers crossed that World Traffic is going to do it for me. I wonder if in the real world they actually do make you fly always from the start of the runway, or if you're a small plane you could just say, can I just get on halfway up? One of those questions I really don't know the answer to. I also doubt really you get many Baron 58s flying from Heathrow in real life. Only ever flown out from Heathrow once in real life, many years ago. It was a BA flight to Italy. I was very excited. It was my first ever time in business class. And unfortunately in business class it meant if you're in business class you sat one side of the curtain, and then if you were normal you sat the other. But there was actually no perks to the flight apart from which side of the curtain you sat on. Pretty pathetic really. Right, ATC have given us clearance to enter the runway. Because that would likely happen, wouldn't it, straight away. Okay, I'm going to turn my landing lights on. This is always my difficulty. Can I flick switches and move the plane at the same time? Okay. Technically I'm calling this a VFR flight here, but it doesn't really matter. Not on VATSIM or anything else. And I don't know why I'm checking around for aircraft, because we are the only aircraft in the skies. Okay, everything else looks good. Props full forward, throttle full forward. Are my fuel pumps on? Yes, they're on. Cowl flaps are open so the engine doesn't overheat in the climb. Lights are on, nav's on, landing lights are on. Should we give it a go? Why not? Come on then. Let's ease up. Well, it's a bit twitchy with the weather, but it's alright. My expert rudder skills coming into play there. Okay, and ease back on the stick. Okay, we are lifting. Good. Gear up. Let's see if I'm brave enough to look out the side and not crash. There. Not doing too bad. We're wandering over to the right, I can tell, but it's a little bumpy. Overcorrecting with the stick there slightly. Goodbye, Heathrow. Ease off slightly on the throttle, I think. Yeah, we're at maximum RPM there. Okay, we'll see if I can trim us for a climb in a minute, and we'll slowly make our turn now as we head north. Maybe not the most exciting flight, but hey, I'm trying to earn some money on FSEconomy to finally buy my first plane. I've got my eyes on a Beechcraft Baron 58 that's for sale, $355,000. I have to keep doing these little flights. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd be routed to RF Northolt. I'm pretty sure nothing would ever fly out of Heathrow like this, but the FSEconomy sort of game website plugin that you can have on X-Plane and on Microsoft Flight Sims as well told me there was a flight to fly from Heathrow with a Baron 58, and so I had to take the job from there. So it does do some pretty strange flights sometimes. This is some pretty miserable looking weather. Look at that. Yeah, I would imagine the Baron 58 is seriously undersized for Heathrow. Okay, let's see if I can just sort of settle us down for a climb. So our gear's definitely up. I'm not going to turn our landing lights off just yet. We're still pretty low, and I'm not very visible. I'm a very tiny plane. We're slowly working our way across to our flight plan there. Let's have a look from outside, shall we? We're pretty stable. Those are the lights of Heathrow in the background. We're flying across North London here. Where did we just fly across? What was that? EGLL. What's that? Oh, RF Northolt. That's exactly what... So that's probably, yes, much more likely where this flight should have taken place. I'm actually going to try and stay below this cloud. I'll just come round now. Keep an eye on our engine and air temperatures. What have we got there? Oil is okay, but the engine's almost at the bottom of being cool. I expect I'll shut the cowl flaps in a minute, I think, for that. Let's bring us round now. Yep. I know something I didn't activate today, which is my Google Maps plugin, so I could see exactly where we're flying over. That's a shame. And we come. So So we're getting towards evening time by the look of the sun, but it's not a very nice evening. What's our air temperature? It's about 0. Okay. Pitot heat. Pitot, pitot. I don't know. I never worked out how to pronounce that thing. We've only got 7.5 minutes roughly to our next waypoint. Okay. I'm going to keep climbing for a while. See if I can trim the plane out a little better. Well, thank you for joining me on the flight today. It's not the most beautiful looking flight, is it? But it's a flight nonetheless. So I don't know if any of you out there have ever tried FSEconomy, but yeah, I only just started it about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And to start with, I thought, this is cool. I'm going to earn so much on this aspect of flight sim, flying all over the place, but it takes a long time to get anywhere with it. But I'm saving enough to actually buy a plane in FSEconomy, and also I want to buy an FBO, fixed base operation, make money out of people pumping gas, getting planes repaired, all that kind of stuff. But it takes a lot longer than I'd originally expected. We're fairly heavy. Take us up to about 4,000, I think. See if I can just stay below this cloud. It's getting closer, isn't it? Again, I trimmed us for a climb, but we kind of leveled out a bit now. When you start racing up, then the speed will come down. Turn the fuel pumps off now. Don't need them on. Not sure if there's going to be any other ice build up on the wing. Those of you that can hear, my dog in the background has decided to bark like mad. So we're on our way to Buzzard. Our flight plan 92 nautical miles cumulative. Okay, it'll take us a while. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Patchwork fields. Now I'm happy. Look at that. Oh, there's a golf course. Is that golf course? Yeah, again, if I was running the Google Maps plugin, we'd all be able to see where that was, but I haven't got that up and running today. So, somebody else can maybe tell me. I could use the autopilot today, I guess, but I don't know what to do. I'll be honest, not my most exciting of streams today. I'm doing the 737 today. I guess this is very realistic. Some days it's just miserable weather and you've got to get the flight done. I've been doing a few 737 flights on with FSEconomy, but it seems to take you to some pretty unrealistic locations for a 737 to fly in and out of. I mean, some of them in X-Plane weren't very well supported airports. There was no third-party models for those airports, and the ones that came with X-Plane were literally just the strip, and no PAPIs or anything, so not very realistic bringing a 737 down to those environments. So it's not always the most accurate, but I guess for those, if you want to fly 737, I'm actually better off actually doing the virtual airline thing. I've never actually joined one. I keep thinking it should. I'm trying to get up to 4,000. It's just creeping up there. But we'll level off in a minute. Might actually use the autopilot then. Autopilot, fly direct to nav. Set to GPS. That'll bring us over slightly because we're not quite on the line. Oh, my mic's a little quiet. Sorry about that. Let's see. What I'll do is I'll drop that slightly and raise that slightly. I don't want my mic to distort. I have got the mic slightly out of the way today. Hopefully that's a little better. There, is that better? Can people hear me? Hope so. Anyway. Oh, we're at 4,000. I'm going to level off that. I'm staying slow and low today. We're on the green on temperatures for the engine. We'll see if I can't ease back a bit and save a bit of fuel. So I'm going to bring props back. See if we can't get us tuned slightly better. Save a bit of fuel. Okay, I'm glad everybody can hear me now. Sorry about that. I do have the mic set slightly further away today. I'm wondering if I need to... Kind of looks almost... Looks pretty thick rain actually. Almost a bit sleety. What's the air temperature here? It is 0. Maybe I'll put them all on for now. Yeah, our prop amps is up, our de-icing's at max now, so that'll put a bit of a heavier strain on the engine, I expect. We are just almost off the bottom of temperature. Right, slightly warmer than the left. And we should be due for a turn very soon. Have 80 nautical miles left to go until we hit TNT, which I think was Trent, wasn't it? And then while we're on the way there, I'll work out an approach. Actually, what I'm going to do, well, I'll wait because I want to see the turn. I am relying on the autopilot just for a minute. Any second now. Let's look from outside while we do it, shall we? Ugh, look at that rain. I've been spoiling myself a lot over the last few months, flying a lot around California where you can guarantee some glorious, dry, sunny weather when you're flying. This is very different, isn't it? Pretty grey and socked in. Look at those fields. No snow in them though. Not very realistic, I guess, to what it would be in the UK today. Oh, the rain's easing up a bit. That's nice. But we've done our turn. So what I'll do, I need to come down a line. I'll just put in EGCC here so it knows where we're going to. And I'm just praying all my scenery works. Fuel pump needed for icing conditions or just landing and takeoff? I don't know. I don't know if the fuel pump's needed. I don't even know if it's modelled in this version of the plane, so we're probably not going to crash if I've got that wrong. Famous last words. So what's this going to be? What did I think it's a runway? Hold on, I'm going to switch away here for a minute. So everybody, 5 right apparently is what SimBrief thinks is in operation right now based on this weather. We'll do 5 right. So oops. Oh, I didn't look this up, did I? Okay, hold on. What else have we... Did I load it up? I don't have any details of the... I have a very limited number of charts for the UK. Doesn't really give me any clues. No. What about on this one here? Would you guess it and see? It's always my best action. Okay, we'll just load it for now. Oops. Okay, just trying to work out. It's probably be fine. Oops, wrong way. Let's zoom out. We're going to kind of come up there. Not sure what that is there. We'll see as we get a bit closer, shall we? When we get a bit nearer Trent, I'll activate the approach. You're going to fasten your seatbelt, yeah. I hope everybody's made their will and their peace with whichever deities they follow, because nothing's guaranteed in my flights, I tell you. Again, still looks miserable out there. Where's that? I really should have loaded the Google map up. Damn it. If I could do that. I don't know if I have my other screen up and running. No. Okay, I can't get to my Google Maps set up. Never mind. You know what? While we've got a couple of minutes, oh look at that. That like the M1 going up there. Are we kind of following the M1 maybe? There we go, now we've got a nice panoramic. You can really appreciate the rain coming down when it's like this. And it still puts the sun glare in somehow. Oh dear, scenery problems. I didn't crash it though. I think that's a bit optimistic, thinking that you'd have sunlight issues there on the lens. Apparently my passengers are invisible, but that's alright. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. But that looks like it's in the sky, if that's supposed to be the lighting from an airport. There we go, I've got my fix of UK scenery now. I'm happy. Lots of patchwork fields, obviously not really for this time of year. Well, they could look as if they're soil, but looks like it was just taken probably sort of September time. Based on that. That's a lot of wheat, or that's stubble that's left over. Where are we coming up to now? It must be a big motorway of some sort there. It's getting dark as well. Yeah, I got ortho for XP scenery. I generated myself, although I found out since there is like a pre-generated one, Great Britain scenery, I've been tempted to replace it with that and see how that does. Where are we? 23 minutes to our next waypoint. Fuel is good. Air temperature still hovering around 0, so we do have a freezing issue to take account of. Manifold pressure is pretty low, but that's good. RPM is fine. Fuel flow's fairly low, which is good, saving me a bit of money. Temperature, good. Yeah, they're okay. Let's have a look at this. I wish I had more charts. What do people who fly out the UK mostly do for charts? That's what I want to know. Oh yes, right. Message there, my info's out of date. Hey, yeah, I don't know what people do because I got used to. I've got all the US charts I use. Sky Vector. The charts are available for free. And then I use flightplan.com app on my Android tablet, and I get all my Canadian charts on there as well, so that's brilliant. We're a little slower than I'd hoped. I wonder if I can just use the props to pull me a little faster. So where are we on the map here? TNT, that was Trent, and I'm going to cut across here. Okay, but I think before then I'll activate the approach. Yeah, because that's saying we've still got 21 minutes to go. I wonder if I can put my foot down a bit. Does FSEconomy factor in fuel costs, landing fees? Yeah, you get charged to land at different airports and the handling fees of that. You have to factor in your fuel costs. It also has a plugin that measures how much you burn. And now I'm actually thinking about this, I might not even have activated the bloody thing. I didn't as well. Oh, well, this isn't an FSEconomy flight. I'm wasting my time, but never mind. So yeah, we could go and have a look at that whilst we're flying. So let's just do a refresh. I bet... No, I didn't turn the plug-in on. Haha. Okay, this is not even counting towards my flying. But yeah, you have to take into account your fuel. You can refuel your plane here. It costs at whatever the local airport is charging. So, you know, if I go to the refuel here, you can see I can actually choose. There's one providing at $3.75 and the other's providing at $4.55 there. I will be charged a cost associated not only with renting the aircraft, but there'll be a charge for how far away from its home base I take it as well, so that the rental aircraft stay within their rental region. I'm paying $300 an hour dry, so I'm responsible for refueling. I will have a charge for landing, so if I go back and you can see some of my previous flights here, where you say view this one here, you can see I rented it. I had my fuel costs. That one didn't have a landing fee or additional crew, but I did have a ground crew fee of $127, so there was extra costs. I got a distance bonus towards me. I actually helped get the plane a bit nearer home, and then I got an earnings amount for it. So you can see it really is quite detailed in the way it tracks everything. It's pretty cool. It gave me a reason to fly general aviation again. I flew general aviation when I started with X-Plane. It was like, I want to fly bigger and faster, and so I worked my way up to the 737 and the 767 and kind of forgot all the planes I'd stepped through in the middle. They were just to figure out how to fly twin engines, how to fly turboprop, and then how to do navigation, and enough so I could just get into the big jets. But I'm now back flying tiny. I'll fly a Cessna 172 if it will get me in and out and earn me some money in a different route. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to places I haven't thought of flying to before. I've been having a real blast. And you just, yeah, drop the plug-in in. You have to have Python installed with X-Plane. And you just drop that little plug-in that's written, and it connects up to your account. So you sign up for your business on the FSEconomy site and choose your paying passengers or goods. You then can rent a plane, or if you own a plane, you can lease a plane. You can do all manner of things. There's banking and groups, and you can work for a business. People have got little pretend businesses with flying goods or people around, and you can work for them and get paid pilot fees, and yeah, you just figure out, you jump into whatever planes you've got. The one thing you have to do, of course, is map your planes to the planes that you've got to the planes in the game, because, you know, if I don't have a Cessna 208 Grand Caravan, there's no point trying to fly with it, and I don't have a plane that simulates that. And also the plug-in will detect if you're not burning the right amount of fuel for a flight, then it will cancel that flight. The other thing is, if you're loading your plane up and it loads up the weight of 15 passengers, but you're in a Cessna 172, you're not going to be able to take off because it will load that into your plane. So it does try and keep you honest, and I try and keep myself honest by pretty much closely flying what I actually own or possess as aircraft with what's in the game and mapping them up. The only one I've done which isn't in the game is I've got the I'm trying to think, was it the E1000? Who made that? Was it Alabeo? Maybe. It's a pretty, or is it Aerobas? Can't remember who made that now, but the plane itself in real life, there's only like one working model out there whilst they get it certified so they can sell it. However, I tried to map it as close as I could, and it looks like it's a TBM 700 is its closest equivalent in the real world, so I actually now can fly that in the game as if I had a TBM 700. So I picked the TBM 700 in FSEconomy and then used my plane as an equivalent match. But I think in game I'm looking to get myself a Baron 58. Then you don't have to rent it every time. You do have fees, so there's again all these other boats, and every 100 hours you have to have the full service on the aircraft that has to be paid for. So yeah, it's certainly a good little teacher of what's involved in some of what's involved in flying general aviation, and it gets you out there and flying. So if you haven't tried it, give it a go. So how are we doing on here? We're down to 14 minutes. We're pretty much tuned for spot on for our speed right now. That's a nice cruising speed. 69 nautical miles. 41. When it gets to about 20, I think I'm going to switch to the approach and see what it does for me. Oops. You like my voice? Oh, it's just a common average everyday Essex lad's voice. I've been away from the UK for a few years, so maybe it's tamed it somewhat. I hope I'm legible anyway on the channel. People can hear me and understand me. I've actually found for online gaming, I never thought it was something I would do. I just had an urge. Well, I started making videos on my YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago, just because I wanted to share with people like the wonders of X-Plane and so on. I was discovering and teach them a few things I'd learned, not being an expert, also show that it's okay to fail. But then actually did some live sort of broadcast to YouTube and to Twitch because I'd got the setup already to do the recording. I still don't do it very often because it takes time away from my family, and I can record things and pause things when my kids need things, so it's not always easy to get to it. But I have found it's been really good experience at thinking ahead and trying to plan what you're going to talk about, trying to talk clearly, and it helps me even at work for presentations and other things. I find it gives me confidence in speaking. So for anybody out there who's considering giving it a go, even if nobody watches you, it doesn't matter, just talking, thinking through what you're doing, communicating, it's actually a great life skill to learn, I've figured. So I'm going to keep doing it even if nobody watches. So it's really great that you're all watching today. That's pretty cool. Sometimes there's nobody, sometimes there's lots of people, but usually I do it so I record a video and then I can publish it later so people can watch it on their own time. But once in a while we'll do one of these live streams. Look at that motorway headed down in the distance there. And how busy it is. Oh, it's pretty busy. You know what? There's the little details sometimes with X-Plane that I think are brilliant. They've even got everybody driving on the left-hand side of the road there. How cool is that? You see, but the thing is, sometimes it does annoy me that they get the little things like that, but they still can't get proper ATC working, you know. You'd think that actually might be more important than working out which side of the road the cars drive on, but never mind. Was I watching on the glide slope? No, I've never actually caught one of his videos live. I do watch a load of his stuff. I absolutely adore his like home flight setup with the monitors at the front and the sides, although now he's doing some virtual stuff. I actually think it's absolutely brilliant, and he's really into the general aviation stuff, and obviously I think he's going for his real world license as well. But he was one of the things before I even got into FSEconomy, I was thinking, you know what, actually smaller aircraft are still very cool. And he's done some scenery creation as well. So yeah, I do watch a lot of his stuff, but not live usually. I don't get to watch a lot of them live. I mean, I watched, yeah, on the glide slope. What's his name? Cat Strader or whatever his name is. Always sounds like a strange name, that one. But I watch him sometimes. But again, not usually live because he streams on a Friday and I'm at work. So that's not really cool. I can't stream when I'm at work. Or watch streams rather. So I get to watch that later. Am I sitting a bit low? Maybe. Okay, how are we doing for distance here? 58. In total 30. You know what? Let's activate. Should we activate this? Can we activate this? Where's this going to take us? Out over here. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. Okay, this is a bit worrying. Why is it going around that far? Okay, this is where it all goes wrong, everybody, and I look like a complete idiot, but okay. That's alright. I'm not panicking yet. I'm not panicking yet. This is where I wish I had charts. So where's that taking us? Okay, that's like taking us south. No, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Okay, let's just skip that bit because that doesn't look like that was a good idea. That's probably planning for when you're a 737 screaming in at 250 knots, and that's like 5 minutes, but we're not turning around and flying back in that direction. Okay, where's this taking us now? Or you know what, I could just go back to what I was originally doing and then just wing it when I get there. In doubt, you can wing it, you know that? That's how I work out. Okay, now I'm not even sure what's what's going on here. You know what? I'm gonna do direct. Hold on. CI5. So let's do direct to that. Let's do. Right, we're just weaving all over the sky here. Just ignore this. Pretend this bit of the flight doesn't exist. I'll get back to you in a second while I work out what's going on. That's better. Okay, I'm just going to do direct to that point on the approach. And then we'll get the hang of it, okay? See, look, totally meant to do that. Doesn't that look good? So, see, if I was at home and I was making a video, I'd just edit those 5 minutes out and you wouldn't see a thing. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, and now we're doing this. But you got to see me live screw up that, so that's good. What my channel's all about. So what did you say here? So, Jan Vogel has scenery building. Yeah, I've loaded up WED a few times and gone, oh, I'm totally doing this, and then realised I'm not a graphical person. Yeah, I can kind of fudge bits. I wish I was better at it. I have done some of that. I've used some of the converter stuff to convert SketchUp models to X-plane and placed them. I was doing it around the area on Vancouver Island, which is where I live, was to place some of those in place around the city, because it turns out my city, large numbers of the buildings have all been done in SketchUp, so I thought perfect, now I'm going to create the scenery. And after doing about 4 or 5 of them and making it work, I realised this is totally not for me, so I'm just hoping somebody else will do it. But I've actually noticed people have been doing large numbers of cities. That, as for airports, yeah, every time I have a dreams of doing something, somebody else comes out with the airport and has done it way better than I could ever do it. So you know what? I'm going to leave it to them. Sadly, my IT skills, although numerous, are actually all around boring database stuff. So there's not really a lot of call for that in Flight Sim. Which may be one of the reasons why I actually like Flight Sim, is that I want to do something a little different. Do something that I'm actually not capable of creating myself. That does make a lot of difference, yeah. It's getting dark. The weather is just absolutely terrible. How's my engine doing? It's warm. Bottom, but okay. Fuel flow's good. RPMs are nice and low. And my manifold pressure's not too high. Level. We're travelling at optimum speed, so this plane's nicely tuned. Fuel pumps are off. All my anti-ice stuff is on because it's miserable. All my lights are on, correct. Yeah, okay, I'm happy at the moment. Don't know why I keep checking the sky for aircraft, because there are none. But it's probably good practice. Right, so what's coming up on the chart here? Can we zoom out a bit? So we're going to come up here. Oops. Runway 5 right. EGCC. Okay, just... why is that doing that? So it looks like we're coming up there. Across there, and then round. What's this long route there? Is that the missed approach thing or something? Maybe. I want to zoom in, but up here. That's one of the limitations of this type of GPS. I can't step through. Not that I know of, anyway. It's not like a FMC on the 737. I can't step my route and check every point of it. So how are we doing here? We have a total of 53 nautical miles left to the runway. Okay. At this speed, so we're talking, yeah. Won't be long, will it? 15 minutes, so probably about 18 minutes we'll be touching down. I feel like OpenStreet. Oh wow, you get serious then. OpenStreetMap. Yeah, if Ortho4XP doesn't do that stuff for me, then I'm out of luck with it. Oh, more scenery areas. I think I'm missing a library somewhere because a lot of my scenery is suddenly complaining. Maybe I accidentally deleted. I do like the evening and nighttime lighting in the X-plane. It does make me happy. I mean, I can fly over my hometown and I can actually recognise the streets and the highway. It looks brilliant. So, thank you everybody for watching today. It's cool, I've got people watching. This does not always happen. As I said, not the most exciting flight today, but a flight nonetheless. It's only a few hours before the end of the day. We all go back to work tomorrow. Well, many of us do, I guess. Those who have Monday to Friday jobs. 12 minutes. We're at just over 4,000 feet. So where's Manchester on here? EGCC, okay. ATIS is 121.97. We have a listen.
Manchester INTL information echo. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 120 at 8, visibility 8, rain. Sky conditions 7,700 broken, 17,500 scattered, temperature 5, dew point -7. Altimeter 2942.
Yep.
Arriving runways 05 left, 05 right. Departing runways 05 left, 05 right. Advise on initial contact you have echoed.
Okay. So we are correct with 05.
Manchester IN.
I'll turn that off. So 2942, that seems really low barometric pressure. Last time you flew around Vancouver, you went east along Fraser Route, alright, and then north over the lakes. It is amazing. I must admit, one of the perks with my work is once in a while, I'm on Vancouver Island, which is stunning in itself, is that once in a while I get to take a float plane over between the island and Vancouver. So I'll get in a couple of times it's been a beaver, but usually it's a turbo otter, and then we fly over between the two locations. The mountains, the water, it's stunning. But I will say, I always say that the scenery, certainly in BC, is stunning. But the scenery in the UK is beautiful. It doesn't ever look quite like this. You know, it's missing that patchwork feel. Well, what's that down there? It's missing that patchwork field kind of feel. But of course you've got mountains and snow and rivers and lakes, and it's different. But it is certainly a great experience. I must admit I do enjoy living in this part of the world. But there are some aspects of certainly UK scenery I miss. You know, in a way Scotland is very much like that with mountains and so on. But this is very different for me. This is very flat here right now, which is kind of cool. The last few days I've been doing a lot of flying in X-plane between like Vancouver and Kelowna and Kamloops and a lot of the Castlegar and a lot of the other places that are tucked in and among the mountains in BC, and you can be in not so favourable conditions, and you've got to take account of where you are and what your minimum altitude is at that point because of the mountains around you, and then kind of drop out of the sky at the last minute to fit into the valley and land on the runway. It's pretty cool. Slightly more terrifying, imagine, in real life, but along the coastline, float plane flying, yeah, it's pretty epic. A couple of times, well, there's actually also a helicopter service as well between Vancouver and Vancouver Island. That's epic as well. A couple of times I've got to take that. Flying over Vancouver at night, all lit up on a scheduled service. That's a lot of fun. Right, so I think we're getting closer now. 8 minutes to that point. We're going to be landing pretty soon, so I'll be getting ready for my approach. Getting a bit more hilly. You can tell we're heading north. A few more bumps in the lovely green patchwork out there. Actually very moody out there, isn't it? It's kind of watercolour kind of look to it. Many choppers taking hikers and loggers in the mountains. I think there is a fair bit of that kind of stuff. I mean, they even do, I think, where they take skiers up and they drop them off on tops of mountains and things. But yeah, I don't know a lot about that lot. I mean, there's also charters for float planes as well. But there's just a lot of... There's some big companies here. Helijet are the helicopter company. They've got Sikorsky, whatever they are, 77... actually, they're the ones that get supplied actually an X-plane. So I actually have the Helijet version paint job of those. They're the ones that fly between the island and Vancouver on a scheduled service. A load of... well, there's a couple of big companies, so there's the Sea Air is a smaller one, and then this Harbour Air is a bigger one, providing service all over the place. They fly Beavers, Otters, Twin Otters. And we've got Viking Air down in Victoria, who actually rebuild and build new Otters and so on. So they've actually got the rights to build them brand new. The turbo Otters that they build there. We're getting close. 6 minutes away. Look at this. Hills. Wow. I actually have to take account of that. Okay, so what's our approach going to be? So we're on 5 right. I've programmed right. God, I can't even remember my flight plan now. Yep, 5 right. Okay. Again, I have that one set of charts, but I don't even know if they're correct. So. Okay, why is there no 523? 5 left. 5 right. I'm going to tune my radios that way. Rebel 1.55. Cheating a bit. Should have done it on there, but okay. So tuned in there. Tuned in there. That's lucky. I nearly accidentally clicked the stop streaming button there. That would have been a disaster after all of this. And hopefully we don't have an X-plane crash. I've been having a few of them recently. Just dodgy scenery, I think. And probably some dodgy ortho tiles I made in various locations. So is that it in the distance? It looks like it's kind of floating in the clouds. I'm guessing that's Manchester. It's kind of a bit disconcerting, to be honest. I would expect it to look up there. It should be about an inch lower there. It's more like Cloud City than Manchester. Okay, we're still at 4,100. .25 nautical miles to go by 26. We're going to let the autopilot bring us onto a path. I would certainly let the autopilot do it in real life in this weather. I'm not actually the best at travelling in aircraft like this size. I've been on a few float plane flights where I was thankful for having taken some gravel or something beforehand, because yeah, the planes can take the abuse and the pilots seem to enjoy it, but it's not a lot of fun for everybody else. You get some of the wind outflow patterns out the mountains in this area, and it messes you up. Can't imagine it's like that in the UK though. Not really ever done any GA flying in the UK. I do love watching some. I don't know if any of you watch any of the YouTube channels of people flying around in real world flight as well. I actually love watching the real world flight stuff because it inspires me to actually be a better virtual pilot. Okay, we're coming close to our turn now. Bring us down to 3,000 in a minute, but not just yet. We still have a total of 21 nautical miles the runway. That's plenty of time to descend yet. That looks pretty built up in this area. I just noticed YouTube has an option for me to play ads during the stream. That'd be a bit crappy, wouldn't it? Getting you all hooked on this landing that's to come, and then before that, some words from our sponsors. Yeah, that's not cool. Although it does, yeah, I know why people do that. I mean, it costs a lot to... I had to spend an extra $200 Canadian on an external encoder so that I could actually encode my stream. And I have a second PC actually doing that, so yeah, it's pretty expensive when you're playing around doing this, trying to stream online. I tried doing it all on my flight PC at one stage, but there was no way it had the power to run X-Plane and encode and upload it live to YouTube all at the same time, and Twitch. It does both. So yeah, it does get a bit expensive, this stuff, so I know why some people do monetize it. I guess they try and make money as well, but come on, getting dark. It's going to get dark soon. I've still got my landing lights on. I've left them on the whole way. I think if I was flying for real in this kind of weather, I'd be lit up. I'd have LED lights all over the plane. I'd look like some big crazy UFO. I guess using my supervision here, which is another thing of course pilots don't get in real life. There's Manchester. There's the runway 5 right. And that's actually a hell of a taxi back into the airport. Yeah, my super pilot zooming vision, which of course all pilots have in real life, I can actually see that quite clearly. Okay, we're doing a turn. Now it's getting serious. And now we're only 13 nautical miles away. Just out one of the turn. Now we're not quite there with the rest of it. Let's zoom in a bit now. Oops, wrong zoom. Okay. What's he doing now? Okay, this doesn't look cool. Maybe it's just cutting off this corner a bit. Super long terminal buildings in Manchester. Oh, I hate that way. They've got you landing at one spot and you're supposed to connect to another, and there's no physical way you can make it from one side of the airport to the other. I've had a few of them in Toronto before now. Connecting flights, and there was actually no way you could ever do it right. I'm going to start again. If it was fair weather, I would probably just disconnect autopilot and fly it. Okay, I can see I will disconnect in a bit. I've got fairly good visibility despite the weather. Okay, let's go for full rich. I'm going to turn my fuel pumps on. I'll leave my de-ice stuff on as well. Our temperature is still around 0. And I'll bring the props to full RPM in a minute, which will start to drop our speed. But being a major airport, they probably want us to be flying in pretty fast, to be honest. Okay, we are descending, but not really a lot. Okay. Again, supervision. Again, we are high. Okay. Go full forward on the props. Full rich. Full forward on the props. There we go. Our prop speed's coming up there. I'll drop the throttle down. I'm going to try and get us down now. We're above the glide slope. I think I'm just going to disconnect the autopilot now. That's bugging me. There we go. We'll try and fly this in manually. We have to drop a bit of speed first. We'll drop a bit of height first, then we'll drop the speed, and then we'll put out the flaps. Not do it the wrong way around, which is put out the flaps, drop the height, increase in speed, rip the flaps off, which is the other way I quite often do this when I get confused. So we're still pretty high. So we've got to do a bit of fairly steep descending. If you were a passenger, you'd probably feel the ears popping. Now, because I have people watching, I hope I don't screw this up. It's a pretty grey, miserable evening in the UK. Okay, now I can do my approach flaps. So we've done our descending. Yep, gear up. Now we're close enough, I probably can bring the gear down. There's the lighting of Manchester appearing in the distance. Slightly off to the left, but I'm happy with this right now. I can see my pappies there. I'm fairly on the ball. A little low now. A little bit more speed, I think. See, another reason I actually quite like this streaming thing or recording is I talk through what I'm doing and it convinces me I know what I'm doing. Right, so I'm gonna just... There we go. I'm still off to the left. It must be a bit of crosswind, maybe. I'm gonna have to kind of crab it in a bit. See how we do. The gear is down and locked. We have flaps. Fuel pumps are on. Everything else is on. Landing lights are on. Mixture rich. Props forward. Speed is okay. We all survive. I call this good. Okay, I'm descending a little bit faster than I want that. Bring the nose up. I need to be able to peek over the top. Yeah, we're alright. But I am going to go full flaps and that will create drag a bit. Okay, in we come. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to land long, but that's alright. Big long runway, it's for big jets. Okay. And in we come. Whoa, not my best landing, but it'll do. Get that nose wheel down. There we go, and we are down. Bring the flaps back up. I have no idea where I am now. You see that straight ahead? What is that? It's like smoke. Apparently, is there a fire going on down the other end? Oh, it's one of those... I think this scenery has like a fire training area where there's always a fake aircraft on fire all the time. I was gonna say, I thought I'd turned the AI aircraft off. Okay, I've got to find where I'm going now. This could take me a while to taxi back, but thank you everybody for flying with me today. Like I said, not the most exciting flight, but a flight nonetheless. My next flight, I will probably be back on the west coast of Canada, flying around the mountainous areas of BC. I just needed a little bit of the English country. Where does this take me? I'm going off here. That looks good. I've just got to find my way back. It's a long way away. I'm going to park among the big jets. I always say, fly for the plane you want, not the plane you have. So I'm going to go and find a nice big jet and park next to it. I think it's what my passengers deserve. I'm glad you could come along today for the flight. It's been fun. Actually, you know what? I'm blinding everybody with my landing lights. Oops. And I'm weaving all over the shop. Who knew my passengers survived the flight only to die in a horrific crash at the airport? Right, I'm going to cut across the runway here. Get my speed down a bit and then swing round the corner here. So we're going to go and find a big jet to park next to. Oh, hello Manchester. I totally knew there weren't planes coming. That's alright. Yeah, I'm not sure who did this scenery. It's freeware. It'll be on xplane.org. Usually I go and re-edit my videos afterwards and add notes in below, so I'll add the notes in for what plane I flew and the scenery that I've landed at. I don't think there was anything else. The ortho scenery, everybody knows about ortho for XP these days. No other gotchas, I think. Let's find somewhere up here to park. It's pretty good looking scenery, actually. Not that I've ever flown in or out of Manchester, so I can't comment on it, how it really looks. This actually looks like the kind of the correct area that I would be parking in. And maybe I can't really get through there. There's a plane blocking my way. So let's go around here. There's actually some nice sort of sunset on the clouds there. That's pretty cool. Okay, I don't know how I'd get into that lot there, but go past the fire engines, or fire trucks as my children would tell me they're called where I am. I'm always being criticised for my mistaken word choices. That's Thomas Cook round here. Well, that's probably definitely where we don't want to be. You know what? We're just coming in the front here. This is totally not where I'm supposed to be going, but again, I don't have charts for this airport. Just winging it. Get it? Winging it. Anyway. Bring us up in here. Park, and I'll do a nice fancy view from the outside, and then I'll shut it down. And I'll shut the stream down. But thank you all for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you actually like my stuff. I do... Oop, wrong button. That better. I do loads of videos all about the things I discover in X-Plane and bits and pieces I've done. I must have 100 or so videos on there, so go and check them out. And thanks for watching. So thank you ever so much, and I shall see you again soon.